I never thought I would be the guy telling this kind of story, but life has a way of humbling you when you least expect it. My name is Callum Reeves. I'm 38, work in logistics, quiet by nature, dependable to a fault. I married Harper 7 years ago because she felt safe and familiar in the best way. She was sharp, funny, the kind of woman who remembered birthdays and small details. I believed we were solid, not flashy, but steady. I wasn't the romantic type, but I showed up, paid the mortgage, planned weekends, fixed what broke, listened when she talked. I thought that was love. The past year felt different, though I couldn't put my finger on it. Harper laughed less. Conversations became surface level. She guarded her phone like it held state secrets. When I asked if something was wrong, she smiled and said work was stressful. I believed her because believing was easier than questioning. Intimacy slowed and stalled. Not dramatic, just absent. I told myself this was marriage settling into routine. Everyone says passion fades. Grown men don't complain, they adapt. Last Friday, my shift got canceled unexpectedly. I decided to surprise her. No warning text, no call. I grabbed flowers from a corner shop and drove home early, feeling almost stupid for being excited. The house was quiet when I walked in, too quiet for a workday afternoon. Then I heard laughter from upstairs. Not the casual kind, the intimate kind. My chest tightened, but I kept moving, still convincing myself I was overthinking. The bedroom door was half open. I pushed it gently. Harper was on our bed, sheets tangled, hair loose, breath uneven. She wasn't alone. Marcus was there, my best friend, the man who stood beside me in our wedding, the guy I lent money to when his business failed. They froze when they saw me, like kids caught doing something forbidden. For a second, no one spoke. Time stretched thin and sharp. I didn't yell. I didn't ask why. I didn't need explanations that would only insult my intelligence. Harper started crying immediately, covering herself, saying my name like it was a mistake she could undo. Marcus stammered, trying to talk, trying to justify something that didn't deserve words. I held up my hand, not in anger, but finality. I told him to leave. My voice surprised even me. Calm, flat. He grabbed his clothes and walked past me without eye contact. Friendship ended without a dramatic speech. Harper kept talking, apologizing, blaming distance, loneliness, confusion. She said it just happened. That line almost made me laugh. Things don't just happen for months in secret. I listened until she ran out of words. Then I asked one question. How long? She hesitated. That was answer enough. I told her I was going for a drive. I needed air, space, clarity. She begged me not to leave. I left anyway. I sat in my car for an hour, hands on the wheel, heart pounding, thoughts oddly organized. Betrayal burns, but it also clarifies. Suddenly, every cold night, every dismissed touch, every guarded smile made sense. It wasn't that she didn't want intimacy. She just didn't want it with me. The realization hurt, but it also removed doubt. I drove to my brother Owen's place and slept on his couch without saying much. By morning, the shock faded into something quieter. Resolve. I wasn't going to scream or fight for someone who already chose someone else. I went back to the house while Harper was at work. I packed essentials, nothing dramatic. Clothes, documents, laptop. I changed passwords, froze joint cards, and emailed a lawyer. Not revenge. Preparation. When someone breaks the foundation, you secure what's left. Harper called nonstop. Messages swung between guilt, fear, anger. She said it was a mistake, that she loved me, that we could fix this. I didn't reply. Love doesn't require secrecy, and respect doesn't involve your husband's best friend. By evening, Marcus tried calling. I blocked him without listening. Some bridges don't deserve final conversations. What surprised me most was the calm. I expected rage. Instead, I felt clear. I had spent years being reliable, consistent, forgiving. That version of me deserved better than betrayal disguised as confusion. I realized I wasn't losing my wife or my friend. I was losing illusions. And illusions are heavy things to carry. People like to say infidelity is complicated. It isn't. It's a series of choices made while assuming the other person will tolerate them. I won't. I didn't walk into my marriage expecting perfection, but I expected loyalty. That wasn't too much to ask. Walking away didn't make me weak. Staying after seeing the truth would have. I don't know what Harper will do next, or how she'll explain this to others. I don't care. I know what I saw. I know what I felt. I know what I chose. Sometimes self-respect looks quiet. It looks like leaving without a scene. It looks like ending things the moment they end you. I didn't come home early to find answers. I came home early to find the end. And for the first time in a long while, I can breathe. The days after were strange, filled with logistics and silence. Friends reached out, choosing sides without knowing the full story. I kept my responses short. Truth doesn't need defending when your conscience is clean. At night, memories surfaced, good ones and bad, but they no longer confused me. They were simply chapters that had already closed. I started running again, cooking for myself, waking without tension in my shoulders. Healing wasn't dramatic. It was practical, one step at a time, forward, without looking back or asking permission. I learned that peace often arrives disguised as loss, and clarity is worth every uncomfortable decision it demands from you. I chose dignity over denial, and that choice, though painful, finally gave me my life back today onward.